What's up guys, Skottyy here from the Blue Coconut family, and welcome to my mod tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to use Remain in Motion, previously known as Redstone in Motion. This is very similar to red power frames, as I think I mentioned in the last tutorial when I showed you how to make the rising laser turrets. So this is going more into the mods, because I talked about it last time, how to use it. But I didn't go into any of the other features, and I just talked about them briefly. So I'm going to show you the different types of motor carriages, or the carriages as they've called them in this, and I'm going to show you the different types of frames here. So essentially I'll go down the carriages first. So the carriage is what moves the frame and whatever moves the object. So this is a very simple thing. You have there are 4 ones, but I'm not going to show you one of them because it requires you to use computer craft, and I haven't got enough computer craft skills to show you how that works. But if there's anybody else out there watching this video who'd like to show me that in a video or some way, I'll be really happy to, because I'd love to learn how to use computer craft properly. But I'm going to show you main 3. That is a carriage motor, a carriage engine, and a carriage translocator. And I'll show you also later on another feature what I've created using these with the carriage translocator. So the carriage engine is a really nice and simple one. All it is it moves the carriage while staying put. So the carriage stays put, but the frame moves. So with these I'm using also the frame carriage, which is the basic one. So if I click it, it moves, nice and simple. And that moves in any direction. I might put those down in a minute. So again, keep on going. But yeah, so it moves in any direction, as you can see on this. That's simple. But more importantly, the carriage stays put like that. Does not move. And if you click again because it's off the thing, it doesn't work. But one cool thing to note on this is, let me just swap my screwdriver out and put in a piece of grass. It moves any block which is touching it. So it's very... No, I'll just show you that. That doesn't work. So you put in a block on that, doesn't work. You have to have a carriage. Now, where the screwdriver comes in, it tells you what you can move. So if I right click that, but don't right click the top, but I'll put one on the side, so like that. So if I put a grass block there, grass block there, grass block there, these two will move, that one will not. Because I've told this side, because it's blacked out, that anything to that side does not stick to it. So let me swap that back just to show you. And if I let me delete that, I'll pull it down, so that side is now stuck. And I put that and that on, just to prove you it does move it. There we go. So that's the carriage engine, and also the frame carriage. So very nice and simple. Frame carriage is lovely. This one is the carriage engine. So this is sorry, the last one was carriage motor, this one was carriage engine. So this one works very differently. This moves with the carriage, so it stays with the carriage. I'll show you this like this. Now I don't know whether it's a bug or it's how it's designed, that anything on the carriage itself gets popped off. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I put a button there and a button there, see, the button on the frame stays still, and I can press that all I like. But if I put a button on the carriage, since it starts moving, it comes off. But you know, that's one of the things you have to get around, so you have to figure out a good way of powering that, and I'll get to those in a second. So now I come to our last carriage. This is the Translocator. So this is quite a decent one. This is really cool. It doesn't move the block, it teleports it. So I've got 2 frame carriages on the top here. If I click it, it'll go to this one, and it blinks and it stops. It's a very cool concept. Now I have got a couple more of these set up in the world, so I'm worried where this one will go. Okay, no, it does go back. But okay, so I'm not entirely sure how to control where it goes if you have more than one in the world. I'm not entirely sure on that. That's kind of still bizarre on me. But it blinks to the thing. And just before I show you the rest of the frames, I'll show you a cool thing I created using this. So I have to get myself a wireless redstone transmitter. So anybody who watches British TV. I know I've got quite a bit of American audience, so they might know it on BBC America. You might recognise this. Of course, this is the Doctor Who Tardis. So this is using a Translocator and also a template carriage, which I'll show you in a second how to work. But what's really cool with these is even if you're inside it, it still works. So it looks a little weird that it blinks everything out, so like this, and then it moves you, but it works. So, and that moves me and the grass to the other side of the village. So it can move you quite a distance, so that's where we started and that's where we ended up. So it's quite cool, and I'll show you again from what it looks like. So it's blinking faster where it's receiving, and then it blinks out where it was. And then it fully appears here. Awesome. So that's quite a cool concept. Now let's move on to some of the carriages. Let's go on to some of the support carriages and like, yeah, the frames basically. So they say carriage, but I'm going to call them frames for simplicity. So we have the blue frame, quite simply. This is also known as the support carriage. So this moves any block that is connected to it, literally in any fashion. So I've created like a snake head, and I want it to go this way. Let's have it going this way slightly. It'll move all of these. Oh no, it won't. Okay. It moves a certain amount of blocks, so I've got to find that. Oh no, but ignore me. So it's moving the other way, so I didn't realise it was on this one. So if I click that, the whole thing moves. Yep, I derped out a little bit. So if I press that, the whole thing moves back. So it's quite a cool concept, and I'll show you again. But if I stand on it and I press the button, oh hello, I moved off there. There you go. So if you stand on the frame, you do not move, it moves underneath you. But if you stand on a block which is connected to the frame, like this, I should prove it again. There you go. You move with it, so it's like a mini conveyor belt. Okay, so that's the blue frame or the support carriage. Now we come to the structure carriage. Now this one you put around a structure like this, and I'll quickly show you how to design it, because you have to. It requires you using the screwdriver. So you first outline where you want your structure to be. So I'm going to do by a 4x4. You go up, and then you basically surround it as if you were making a lift. So this one is the one I'll probably use to make a lift. So you're only doing the edges. Okay, that's very important. And then to seal off that, you then right click the corners. So ideally you only have to do the edges like that, and then you do edges there, the edges on this one, and also if I go down, the edges here. And then just to finish off the deal, you have to do this corner. So you have to do opposite corners, and you have to seal off the edges. And now that's done, that's how I created that. Now I'll show you what it's done. So anything inside it, so inside this hole here, it will move. So it will not move this stack on top. There we go. So it's moved the grass blocks that are inside, but does not move the thing on top. So that's quite simple. So that's the yellow or the structure carriage. Now we come to the platform carriage. Now this is probably one of my favourite because it has the most use. It will move any block that sits on top of it. Okay, so like this, as high as you want to go, it'll move it in a straight line. So it did not. So you see how those were not above a carriage? They did not move. Now, one thing I'm going to test is I'm not too sure, will this work? No. So it has to be connected in the middle. So anything it's connected to above it, it'll move. But if there's a gap like you saw there, it will not move. So this is very useful for making platforms underneath what move. So you build the platform, then you build your floor, and then you can build the bits above it. But of course it all has to be connected, and it will work quite happily. So that's really quite a nice thing. So what I will do, just to prove a point, is, so that doesn't work, but if I go above here and connect it, this should work. There you go. So because it's above one here and it's connected to one, it will work. But let me just move it back, and I did this way round. This side shall not move. There you go. So it's not, because it's not above a carriage. So that's very quite a cool concept, and I really like that. So now we come to the last one, which is the template carriage. Now everyone gets really confused with one because they're like, template? I haven't got a template. How do you expect me to use a template? Okay, you don't make a template before, you build the template and then you move it. So I'll show you what that means. So I'm also going to bring this down. So you need your purple carriage. So I'm going to build a little statue in the middle. So 4x4 again. So now I'm going to build a little statue. So first of all, let's finish off this. So you build the area you want it to move. So this is how I built my Tardis. So because I'm going to have everything connected in the middle, I do not need that. Okay. Okay, and then let's finish off the roof. Okay, perfect. So now you've got your template. That is your template. That's what it's going to move. Okay, so how to select what it does, you right click on the block what you want it to all go to. Now, it doesn't make the laser noise, it was just perfect timing to the laser over there. So now how you see so now you get a single block. Now that still holds all the data for where that area is. That's why you don't see a frame around my Tardis. So to really see where the frame is, you can click it and now you can go inside it. So now this is where I'm going to start creating my model. So I'm just going to create a little T-shape there, and then I'll right click it again and it shows me my model. Now I'm going to move all that way. So you can see that it's not directly connected to this single block, but it moves. But you saw that this didn't. Why? Okay, now it did. Now if you're starting to get really confused by this, have a look at this. So let's have a look in here. Okay, that's why it's moving. Because in here we don't have any blocks, other blocks in here. So what if I do this and I create my block area in the middle there, and then to re-add blocks you shift, right click that. So now if I move this back, it doesn't move that one again, but this has now gone inside a block, as you can see there. So it's now inside a block. So if I re-add this one and I shift right click that and right click, this whole thing will now move. So that is the frames and also the carriages. Oh, actually, I also clicked this, so that's now blinking in. But so I'd love to see your makes on what you do with this. I'd love to see some elevators and also some better TARDISes if you can, because I only had a couple minutes to build that. But yeah, I hope you have great fun with this mod. It's really powerful, and you know, you can use it for so much more. So I've been Skotyyy from Blue Coconut Family. I hope you've had a really nice tutorial and you follow my instructions. So I'll see you again next time. Bye.